Welcome to the Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. Todd has over 35 years of experience working with thousands of couples as a licensed therapist in his private practice. Todd shares his insights on this show. It's never too early to divorce-proof your marriage or too late to heal yourselves and have the relationship you truly want.
Hi, everybody. This is Todd Creager. What I do is I help individuals deal with trauma, and I help them with EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. I also help couples. That's what I've been known for the longest period of time. I help couples heal from their own trauma, such as infidelity, and I also help them rekindle passion when their love life has gone south. And sometimes I do all of it at the same time because they're all related to each other. Today, the name of my talk here is, does pornography lead to infidelity? Or I could say, is porn a gateway to infidelity? So I will answer that question. So one of the things I want to tell you about pornography is that, and I've said this in other talks and other podcasts and videos, that there is a small percentage of people, and this is now coming just from my own practical experience with many couples and individuals, that there's a small percentage of couples that use porn in a healthy way. Small. Very small, but it's there. It's not zero. And that's why I can't say porn is bad. I know some people say porn is bad. I can't quite say it because I know couples that use porn in a way that doesn't hurt them. And in those couples, porn is not a core desire or need for them, but just like sometimes they like to snorkel or scuba dive or ski, every once in a while they enjoy a little porn. But they have a connected relationship emotionally and sexually. They make time for each other. They desire each other. So I'm starting it like that. And I see that in a very small minority of people. For the most of the couples and individuals I see out there, porn is a problem. Now, why is porn a problem? Because porn, and I will answer my question in a minute, why does porn lead to infidelity? Maybe in a few minutes. But porn is definitely a very self-absorbing activity. It's one that oftentimes is substituted for the real thing, which is connecting to another human being, tuning into them, risking with them, being vulnerable with them, having them be vulnerable with you, creating an adventure together, risking rejection or judgment, all the things that we really got to do to be successful in other areas of our life. It's the same with relationship. In order for it to be a good one, we have to risk it and trust and take chances and change things up a little bit. So all those things start to disappear when people do porn, at least to one degree or another. When a person does porn, what happens? They have to disconnect from their partner, and they're very self-focused. And here, of course, is the other big problem with porn. Most of the time it's done in secret. Most of the time, and usually it's the man, not always, but usually, the man secretly looks at videos or pictures or whatever he's doing in a secret way. My partner's gone out of the house, or my partner fell asleep before me, I'm going to do that, and she'll never know. That person hopes. So the secret becomes a problem. So secrets then can lead to other secrets. So a person that does porn is starting a pattern of secrets. Most of the people I know that have done porn just have done porn. but a large minority of people that do porn, it does lead to other things such as infidelity, such as people that through looking at porn, they get sensitized. I would say they get desensitized, and develop a tolerance. It's like someone who takes some drugs, they develop a tolerance, so they need more of it to have the same reaction, and so they might need more extreme whatever they're looking at, or they might then just find a person that's on there and they start to interact because that's a little more risky and a little more exciting. And what it's doing is it's taking that person further and further away from their partner. So the question now, okay, does porn lead to infidelity? Well, I I have looked at research that says that people that do pornography are more inclined to do infidelity. Now, I guess I have to define, because everyone has their own definition. I don't define porn as infidelity when a person is just looking at pictures or videos. Other therapists and other people that are in my profession may have a different definition, but I'm just telling you mine is that infidelity involves a real live interaction, whether oh, it doesn't have to be live. It could be email to each other, but a real live person that you're interacting with, whether it's through a website, through email, through text, through in person. And so I'm putting energy to you, you're giving me some energy back, and I'm hiding that from my partner. Whereas porn, when you're just looking at a video and it's not a real person or an image you're looking at, that's a secret, but I don't look at that as infidelity. However, a person that is doing the porn, it may be more likely to do the infidelity. Not everybody, but hiding is hiding. Now, the key is there's a difference, as I teach my research students when I teach graduate school, is that correlation doesn't mean causation. In other words, you can't say that a person who does porn is now going to do infidelity because they've looked at porn. That porn leads to that. I think sometimes it does. Like I said, some people will develop a tolerance. They get desensitized. They need more of it. But I think it's more of a correlation that people that do porn are more likely to do infidelity because the person is getting habituated to have a secret. So I will say that you can't say that porn leads to infidelity, even though sometimes it does with some people. You definitely can say porn is correlated, the research shows, with infidelity. So what do? We decide, hopefully, to not have any secrets, to realize that maybe I'm doing this as a way to get excited or to calm down or to regulate myself so that I could get away or escape my stress, and that instead maybe I need to find a real life person, especially if I'm in a relationship, that's right there to do that with and to work on. Of course, that's one of the things I do with people. I help them, and I've worked a lot with people that have porn addiction to help them let go of the porn addiction and understand what made them do it. They're not bad people, but what makes them do it, and then how to meet those needs that the porn met in ways that are much more fulfilling, just much more fulfilling. I know I just used this metaphor recently, but I got to say it again. It's sort of like using junk food versus healthy food. Junk food will fill you up, but it doesn't really give you much, and that makes you feel probably lousy anyway and bad. Most people that do porn don't feel good about it. They know that this isn't probably right. I'm keeping a secret from my partner, and oftentimes when they're done, they feel like it's a big waste of time. So again, the small minority of people that do that in a healthy way with their partner, a healthy meaning that they're connected, it's upfront, it's transparent, it's not the center of their sex life or their connection. That's one thing. But I think for most of us, it could be a very slippery slope, and that it's best to find ways to create intimate, connected, honest relationships where we learn how to give and receive love, and we learn how to give and receive pleasure. So this is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.
That's it for today's episode of Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. For free resources and materials, head over to toddcreager.com. Loved this episode? Head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.